على المستوى الشعبي. رسالتك حتوصل للمستمعين في مواقع مختلف، مما يعزز التفاعلات الهاتفة ويزيد الوعي بعلامة تجارية.
التغطية الشاملة مع محطات في مواقع استراتيجية زي الرنج، ملكال وباليت. بتوفر آي راديو تغطية شاملة بتصل إلى كل من المراكز الحضرية والمناطق الريفية. بتضمن شراكتك مع آي راديو الرؤية عبر منطقة جغرافية واسعة.
ما تفوت فرصة توسيع نطاق رسالتك باستخدام آي راديو. شارك أو أعلن معنا الليلة وخلي صوتك مسموع في جميع أنحاء جنوب السودان.
Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. President Salva Kiir has directed the newly appointed government officials and executives to collaborate and work collectively towards the nation's development and prosperity. The Directorate of Immigration, Nationality and Passport says it has arrested 17 Eritrean nationals who entered South Sudan illegally while attempting to cross into Sudan. And the Council of Ministers of Central Equatorial State has reviewed a 5-year strategic plan for road development aimed at enhancing connectivity and promoting economic growth across the state. These stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. President Salva Kiir has directed the newly appointed government officials and executives to collaborate and work collectively towards the nation's development and prosperity. The appointees who were sworn in on Tuesday include the Minister of East African Community Affairs, Piang Deng Kwol, the Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, Denai Jok Chagor, the Minister of Transport, Rizik Zakaria Hassan, the Deputy Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs James Kongchol, and the Governor of Upper Nile State Jacob Dolar Road. During the ceremony, President Kiir told the officials that the appointments were a call to duty and a commitment to the well-being of the people. He urged the new leadership to cooperate as a united government to strengthen the national army, promote peace and reconciliation among all communities. The head of state was categorically about prioritizing national interest, stressing the importance of placing the country's needs over any personal gain. In a related development, the President also oversaw the swearing-in of the chairperson of the Board of Directors of the South Sudan Civil Aviation Authority, Samuel Yanga Mikaya, and the non-executive directors of the Bank of South Sudan, whose terms were extended for 2 years. The President specifically appealed to the Civil Aviation Authority leadership to promote digital connectivity and modernize aviation services to conform to international standards. Speaking after the ceremony, SPLM Third Deputy Chairman Simon Kunpoch urged officials to diligently fulfill their constitutional obligations. Minister of East African Community Affairs Piang Deng Kwol assured the public of his commitment to serve them, with all officials pledging to foster law and regulations to ensure proper government function. The Directorate of Immigration, Nationality and Passport says it has arrested 17 Eritrean nationals who entered South Sudan illegally while attempting to cross into Sudan. According to the Director General of Immigration, Major General Elia Costa Faustino, the group was intercepted on October 10th in Awil, northern Bahr el Ghazal state near the Sudan border. He says 14 Eritreans, including 13 men and 1 woman, were apprehended in Awil and later transferred to Juba for investigation. He added that 3 of other Eritreans, 2 men and 1 woman, were also arrested in another separate operation near Kajukeji while attempting to travel to Sudan without legal documents. Major General Costa said the arrests are part of efforts to combat human trafficking, which he described as a growing concern along South Sudan's northern borders. He praised the country's border security forces for intercepting the group and promised that all suspects would be taken to court for legal action. Costa also urged South Sudanese citizens to cooperate with security agencies in preventing illegal border movement, saying such activities could expose the country to serious security and humanitarian challenges. The Immigration Director further called on the embassies of Eritrea, Somalia and Ethiopia in Juba to work closely with South Sudanese authorities to help curb illegal migration and human trafficking through the country. According to Costa, the department has previously arrested over 30 Eritreans in similar circumstances who were later deported to their home country. The Council of Ministers of Central Equatorial State has reviewed a 5-year strategic plan for road development aimed at enhancing connectivity and promoting economic growth across the state. According to a post shared on the Governor of Central Equatorial State Facebook page, the discussion took place during an extraordinary council meeting chaired by Governor Rabi Mujung Emmanuel on Monday. The meeting followed the presentation of a memo by Clement Mareng Samuel, the State Minister of Roads and Bridges. The proposed plan outlines a comprehensive and action-oriented roadmap to guide the ministry's operations and development priorities over the next 5 years. According to the government, the initiative aligns with Governor Mujung's policy direction and commitment to improve service delivery and accelerate development within the state. Addressing journalists after the meeting, Nyarsu Patrick, Minister of Information and Communication, said the cabinet reviewed the memo and after thorough deliberations deferred it to the Ministry of Roads and Bridges to first develop a policy framework that will guide the implementation of the strategic plan. The plan seeks to address critical infrastructure gaps across Central Equatoria aimed at enhancing connectivity, inclusive growth, and improve living standards. It also defines the ministry's goals, objectives, performance indicators, and provides a framework for resource allocation, implementation, timelines, and institutional strengthening. In his presentation to the Cabinet, Minister Mareng emphasized that the strategic plan reflects the state government's commitment to building a resilient and inclusive transport network that supports economic growth, social cohesion, and regional integration. He said the document will serve as the ministry's guiding framework for the period 2026 to 2031. Authorities in Balliet County, Upper Nile State, say that the area's public health has been without medicine for months, with the last consignment of drugs delivered 4 months ago. According to County Commissioner Joseph Deng, with no proper buildings, medical staff are often forced to work under trees, and life-saving drugs frequently expire due to a lack of refrigeration. Commissioner Deng warned that preventable diseases such as malaria and waterborne infections are causing increased death, particularly due to ongoing flooding and the persistent drug shortages. Deng also disclosed that the only secondary school in the area is struggling to function due to severe shortages, poor infrastructure, and a lack of qualified teachers. He said the biggest challenge facing students is a shortage of teachers, many of whom have left the profession to work for non-governmental organizations. The county official revealed that due to limited funding, only 2 teachers are currently on the government payroll. The rest are volunteers supported by local community initiatives. This is iRadio Morning News. On the international stage, at least 16 people have died after a huge fire broke out at a garment factory in Bangladesh, with officials warning that the toll could rise. 16 bodies have been recovered but were burnt beyond recognition, the fire service has said. Distraught relatives gathered outside the 4-story factory in Dakar's Mirpur area on Tuesday in search of their loved ones still missing. The blaze, which broke out at the factory around midday, was extinguished after 3 hours, but adjacent chemical warehouse continued to burn. An elite military unit says it has seized power in Madagascar from President Andry Rajoelina following weeks of youth-led protest in the Indian Ocean island. Standing outside the presidential palace on Tuesday, CAPSAT Chief Colonel Michael Radrianirna said the military would form a government and hold elections within 2 years. He also suspended key democratic institutions like the Electoral Commission. Gen Z protesters will be part of the changes because the movement was created in the streets, so we have to respect their demands, he added. Troops and protesters have been celebrating the apparent ousting of President Rajoelina with thousands waving flags in the capital, Antananarivo. This is iRadio Morning News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. President Salva Kiir has directed the newly appointed government officials and executives to collaborate and work collectively towards the nation's development and prosperity. The Directorate of Immigration, Nationality and Passport says it has arrested 17 Eritrean nationals who entered South Sudan illegally while attempting to cross into Sudan. And the Council of Ministers of Central Equatoria has reviewed a 5-year strategic plan for road development aimed at enhancing connectivity and promoting economic growth across the state. That's the end of our Radio Morning News. If there's a story or event you'd like our radio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at Our Radio Juba, like our Facebook page, Our Radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Our Radio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at 8 o'clock. I am Lasuba Memo. Thanks for listening.